No, I don't think it's fair that whenever there is corruption, I mean, he is responsible for a lowly bank official turning corrupt. So I think let's be fair. I agree that.
No, I'm sorry. Since the announcement, Rajdeep, you're misinterpreting what I've said. I've said that this entire announcement of demonetization, I'm not putting the blame on his door. I'm saying this entire process of demonetization announced by the Prime Minister has also opened doors for incentivizing corruption, and that is what is coming across through your investigation. That is what I was saying.
Okay, so it's incentivizing corruption. That's a good point, but I want to ask you, Mr. Kaushik, as has been pointed out by some of our guests, this KYC norms, this whole belief that Aadhaar alone will solve all problems, will lead to an audit trail, there's a huge question mark. There are questions over identity theft. There are questions that there are enough loopholes, and the ingenuity of bank managers and hoarders and tax evaders is still there. How is the banking system non-porous?
Rajdeep, the Aadhaar is not the only basis of identity. There are other documents which are taken, like your voter ID card is there, your passport is there, your driving license is there, your ration card is there. And as far as Aadhaar is concerned, the verification is done through UIDAI database itself.
Sir, that may well be the case, but the income tax has already in Chandni Chowk branch unearthed more than 40 fake accounts in which 450 crores were deposited in old notes. An IT raid in the Noida 51, Sector 51 branch, 60 crores, 20 fake accounts. That means fake accounts are being created.
No, these fake accounts can be created because if you have the black sheeps in the system, they can be created, but they will be caught because in any case, there is a post-check system in the banks. Whenever an account is opened, before it is operated upon, there are ways and means of checking back the credibility and the authenticity of the KYC which is being done.
But at the local branch level, how will you know what is happening? Do you believe there's enough scrutiny? Are there enough people? Is there enough technology to ensure that every bank account which is opened can be checked? Do we know which Jan Dhan Yojana someone may have put extra money in?
That is all monitored. It is on system. It can be taken out from the system. There are trails available.
You believe every trail can be monitored?
Yes, it can be monitored.
Okay, you believe every trail can be monitored. Sucheta Dalal, you don't agree with that. You don't believe that every trail can be monitored.
You know, Rajdeep, there are two things. One is that Mr. Mundra, as Deputy Governor, well before demonetization, has made a public speech in which he has warned people about the misuse of Aadhaar-based cards. So there is 5 kinds of KYC is a load of rubbish because you have actually told people Aadhaar is enough, and these are people who do not have other kinds of KYC. So you have allowed them to open accounts with only Aadhaar. That is one. The second point is that there may be trails. It's like saying, you know, we'll ultimately get justice from our courts after 20 years. It's meaningless. Like I said, that it is money. Money is fungible. It's in your bank. The minute I've withdrawn it and I've made my account zero, it's the end of the story. You can catch a few people. By then, those guys may have retired if they're going to catch them in the next 3 years. But the biggest joke I've heard today is Congress blaming everything on post-demonetization because these are systems they put in place. If at all you can blame Mr. Modi, it is that he should have cleaned up. He should have spent some time understanding the loopholes. He should have listened to Deputy Governor Mundra, who talked about Aadhaar accounts being used as money mules and the fact that the incidence was rising. The same speech, Mr. Mundra also said that digital transactions, the number of complaints had escalated. None of this was addressed. Even today, you have Niti Aayog going on evangelizing it. Not one of them wants to mention the word redress. Narendra Modi mentioned it once in his speech. We are asking all of them, what are you doing to redress people who've just lost money? No, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants that to be news at all. So I think the money will go. And I don't agree, there may be trails, but who cares about the trails if there's no money in the account?
Interesting point, because Mohandas Pai, I think there is a feeling that Mr. Modi may have been well-intentioned but didn't understand the institutional loopholes that existed. Believed that the banking system would be at the same level at which he was claiming it was, did demonetization without actually putting in place the building blocks in our banking system to handle demonetization. And therefore you still have people who are manipulating the system. No one is blaming Mr. Modi for it, but the fact is you need to put institutional systems in place.
Rajdeep, let us not rubbish the systems. Bank have got very robust systems. You know, I want Suchita to give us hard data, number of accounts where Aadhaar has been used, where it's been misused. Let's not go. There are 70 crore accounts. There have been accounts opened without Aadhaar, and maybe money laundering is happening there. Let's not go and rubbishing Aadhaar just because one happens to have a particular view about that. We need hard data. If you wait, yeah, Deputy Governor has made a statement, but he also knows how many accounts have been opened without the Aadhaar. And with digitization, many things come to the hold. You can't blame digitization only for all these deals. We know what deals are there in the banking system before digitization. So let's not go unless you have hard data in terms of numbers. See, there is a problem. Sujata, nobody is saying things are good, okay? Things have gone bad in some areas. Let's not blame Aadhaar, let's not blame digitization. Let us wait for some time till data comes out.
Mr. Pai, answer.
Government will December 31st and wait for the audits to be over.
Who will get the data? Why?
The government will get the data, the banks will get the data. Banks will get the data. You can go with RTI and get the data out after the bank gets it. You know how to do it. Why do you blame everything on digitization? Aadhaar. This tyranny against Aadhaar has been carried on by a set of people without data, without evidence.
No,
just
1 minute.
Because they want to make a point.
1 minute.
I mean, let's be careful. Let's wait for data, Rajiv. There is a problem. The problem has to be solved.
Amazing.
People are cheating and gaming. That is true. But let's wait for action to be taken.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I don't want this to become another,
too,
you know, clearly there is something rotten. Clearly there is something rotten. Priyanka Chaturvedi, you want to get in a final point? Because Sucheta Dalal claimed that the Congress party can hardly come into this debate, come into the debate on banking with clean hands. You have ruled this country for 55 years. You allowed the banking system, in a sense, to be dysfunctional. And today that dysfunctional system, when it is exploited, you say the Prime Minister is incentivizing corruption.
No. Firstly, let me be very clear. When I was, I think Ms. Suchita missed the entire point where I said if the Prime Minister realized that banking reforms was a must, like Mr. Taneja said, then that was the first thing he should have concentrated on. When we are talking about black money, and that was the purpose of this demonetization process, this is just 6% of the the currency which was in circulation that he has addressed. He has not addressed the many other ways of sources of attacking the black money. Now, talking about Congress, if she would remember, it was Mr. Raghuram Rajan was appointed during our period, during our tenure, and it was him who started the entire cleanup of the banking process. We all know after BJP came into power how he was treated, how everything that he was talking about disclosing and bringing forward was totally, I would say, discouraged by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So that in itself speaks a lot about undermining institutions like the RBI, undermining the governor of RBI, and not allowing him to process things that need to be done on a priority basis, just because the BJP does not agree with it. So I think that is where I would put the blame.